So we've begun. The wolf, the moon, the red spot, the glare off the screen into my glasses, brightening and widening the sun. Instead of closing my eyes, it's opening my eyes. Wider and wider, the sun pulls my eyes in, and I can no longer look anymore. So I stare until the mist in front of me dissipates, and I stare into the sun, and I put on my yellow glasses, and all of a sudden, all the rays are larger, and now my eyes are all screwed up. It's pulling the sun from everywhere, and now I'm seeing more rays of the sun, and my vision is wider with the yellow glasses. John Lennon. I'm going to do a little bit of this and that in this video. We all know who this is. How they just reverse things a little bit and figure they could be scratching their chin instead of getting a message from underneath. Tic-tac-toe. See the cross of Christ? We're in the center. You see the four windows? Our head's just on top. We're locked on all sides. Four corners is 8. 4 in the center is 12. We get a double over here, this side and this side of our shoulder. This side and this side and 4 here and 2 here. Nothing here. 1 here, 1 here. Do you understand? I'm just showing you where all the spaces are. Now what I'm going to go into is lift my glasses. And something new came up. This card. Recycling, all in that avocado green. On this side, it shows circle number 1, circle number 2, circle number 3. Bicycle Eco Edition. Hearts and angel spirits all around. Inside this rectangle of the game. It seems like, and I don't want to cry, because when I cry I feel the greater of the emotions. You need to cry. We should be crying. Every time you hear the rabbi sing, it's like he's crying. Comes from right in. It's a little scary that if we flash into the next world, we might all end up in the ocean. And then we'll live there for 10, 15, 20 years, and then we'll live somewhere else, and then after we're finished the cycle, then we get to go to God. But I'm hoping not. I would rather just go see Him now and say hello. I'd rather just stay right here where I am, even if this is not the real world. It's the world we're in at the time, until we break apart. Don't forget the book. In this book, we break apart as islands, and the islands are returned to the main messenger, the Vikings. They will tag and tow these islands. You won't even know, because they'll be pulling part of the ocean. They pull the ocean with them, their own ocean, in which they put you in so you wouldn't know if you were going or coming, but you know something would be happening. And then all of a sudden, boom, bang, you're out of one area into the next. Your island has been reset. You get onto the highways, and there's a little bit of a mix-up now, because some of the highways are missing, yet the road goes on. The highways were made to split up, to reconnect into the new world. Your highways are already set for you. You will be warned in advance, of course. The swarm will warn you. This card says, our playing cards are crafted from the can't even read it. These playing cards are crafted from the sustainable forest paper. Starch-based, laminated, glue, and velvet. Vegetable-based printed ink. This pack of cards is recyclable. Made by the U.S., enjoyed by you, benefit for all. Enjoyed by you, benefit for all. Enjoyed by you, benefit for all. Look at this card. Well, you don't see it, but see the Queen in there? See the Queen? Those are 2 R letters, okay, like 2 jacks, and she recycled us. The other one would be here. The center world, the same thing. Same thing. Then, this card, 808, 202, 202, 202, and 202. 202 says, there ain't no one. It's 202. You're the one inside the 0 now. Why? Because 202 has no spirit. You want me to show you what it means? 202? Here's a 2 over here, okay? But it was one big 2. All I did is put a line in it, and now it's 212. The heart of the 1, of the 2 and 2. And over here, this was one big 3. Then I put a line in it. Now it's 313. And this one over here was 15. And it becomes 515. These 3 numbers were chosen because the 2, 3 of creation, the 3 eggs, the 2 and 3 is the 5. The 5 and the 2 is when you cut them off, it's a 2, or now it's a 5. And altogether, it's a 3. Why is it a 3? The empty space is 1, the empty space is 2, the empty space is 3. This is as good as a 3 as making a W, which is what they have in this world. When I add those together, 212, okay, it already says 202 on it. Because the in-between and where the placement of the 1 is inside the 0. 0 is everything behind you. And then what you stand on is what it built up to be. You were on one of the elevators of. You know why they say oven? Because they're always chanting 11, 11, 11, 11. Go, go, go. Spirit angel man. Go, go, go. Yo, 11 comes 7-Eleven and craps. Let's shake the dice up. Players, make your bets on the pass line. Are you the shooter, sir? If you're going to be the shooter, you're going to have to choose. Are you going to choose the pass line or the don't pass line? The pass line win is 7-Eleven, but the don't pass line is 2, 3, and 12. Sometimes it's barred, but usually not on the come out because everything counts on the come out. When you're coming on out, it's on the way out. It ain't in because you don't get the effect until it already shoots the sky. Why I chose 235 is because it's about location. In CB radio, 1010 or 1020 is what's your location. So it's asking you the exact of 1010. 1010 is 3939. That's the representation of 10. 3 by 3 is 9. 10 is a word of perfection used in the Olympics. It totals 39. So I always went with that because what was perfect? If I got 3 by 3 to be 9, 3, 3, and 3 to be 9, that's pretty much perfect to me. So I always run by that law of 10, which also runs to the law effect of 4 and 6 is 10. But now you'd have to add the 4, which is number 60. You'd have to add the 6, which is number 52. That's 12, 11, 2, November 2nd, plus 2, November 4th. Why I chose 2 and 3 for location, I have to understand that 0, 1 we are starting. The 1 position I cannot get, and the next position, okay, is the trains. God only takes the trains, okay? He can take the position, okay, because he can take the train with you. He's number 10 in the corner, but go is in the corner, and it's position 0 for man. So when you get to the trains, 2, 3, and 5, if he dices a 2, he's on community chest. If he dices a 3, he's on Baltic. That's okay. If he dices a 5, he's on the train. If he dices 5 and 3 is 8, he's on chance. 5 and 2, 7, he's on Vermont. 2, 3, and 5, he's on the next corner visiting jail. He goes into and out of what he is. The 2 biggest things was Oriental and the Baltic, and the Mediterranean where it all started, but it's all coming around to the other side. Somebody told me yesterday, he says, listen to the Scottish. He says, remember the campgrounds. And I'm going, what campgrounds? Remember the campgrounds from the show. I'm trying to figure what show, what campgrounds, and I couldn't, and I remember I saw it on YouTube. That if you want safety, the best safety, if there's any safety at all from anything that might happen, is to find yourself a KOA campground. People that, a place more or less where they have the warden of the campground. They don't have to have a warden, but just being in the element of the numbers, whatever happens, you're in a giant group. You understand? When somebody comes in knocking your door to fight, everybody pops outside the tent. You understand what I'm saying? But if you do it at home, everybody closes the windows. Because you got that camping thing in you. You got that camping spirit in you. You're ready to join in and save. Because you got to watch out. Yogi Bear might be in the park and the moose might be coming on by. Bull, Winkle. Bull, all the bull and the winkle you want. What I see in the future is Chicago and New York coming closer together. Like being one, almost a whole joining together with a few other places. They'll have this great big island, then they'll have these little islands out on the outside, and some islands to put money, where Richie Rich said, we'll just shove that, let's just take those diamonds and throw it in the ocean. We don't need it anyways. So maybe it'll be like that. Give them all the money. Give them the money. Here's the money. Take the money. Take the money. The only thing, just leave me that bed where I have to sleep. I get all my money. Just leave me the bed. Push onto the outside. We got our place. You got yours. You got the money. Now we work for ourselves. We are called the autonomous Indians. The ones who work for their own family, to survive their own family, to where every friend on the corner is getting a little bargain on the deal because it's a closer friend. It's more into the heart. You're not looking to take their money. You need them. They need you and you need them. Say 10-5 and I'll say 9 times 9. Say 10-6 and I'll say we have one season in the sun. Say 10-7 and I'll say we have the game of 4-10, where I get 10% of the mine and end up visiting jail. Or I'm on 14, which is, I think, Virginia Avenue coming in. That's my birthday. 10-4 to me looks like Arizona Highway 10, because the 4, and I drag my pen all over the place, now looks like an A for Arizona. Just below and beside the flood of the gateways that are about to come when we say 10-8. And you don't want to say 10-8. Because 10 and 8 is high 18, 666. It is 39 for the 7th inning stretch. And then it is 49 for the end of the game, totaling 88. The gates open, the fans, everybody rushes onto the field. The World Series, it's the 8th and the 8. Holding the cup evenly, not like the Stanley Cup, not holding the hand on top, but like this in front of you, like it's your baby and you kiss it. Which trophies can you kiss direct like this? Where you grab and you hold it. It's all in the motion. 10-8 is 88. But now if I go, listen to this. I went 10-5, it was 81, and now I'm going to say 10-9, and it's also 81. 5 and 9 are the same thing. It's the 5 world and your birth of the 4 corners going into the 5 heart of God. You're just replacing the part of everything of the light and putting your memory from your memory bank from outer space inside God, inside the light of God. You become the thinker. You are the thinker. That's the whole shit to this thing in this world that we're in. We're only the thinkers for the great one, to do the best we can and to learn. But he shut off a few doors because he can't come down 2 and 8 and work you 6 and 4, meaning into your head and also making your last decision. When you make the last decision, it means you've moved forward. Regardless if you walk backwards, regardless where you went, any mention of anything is forward, talking about what is behind or what is to come. The immediate is now when you hear my voice. It has been thought and it has been said. When you take a hold of 5 and 9, the mind and the birth, you get 81 and 81, 162, 261, 6226. It's also 2, 6, and 1, okay, or 2 times 16, which can be 32. And if you start on reading Railroad, you come back to reading because Monopoly is now the alphabet board. You should see the way you close the board and what happens to it. It distorts. It distorts things. And it makes castles in 2 of the corners. And in the other corners, it shows that the train tracks have stopped dead. 10-7, we have done. But when we go to 10-10, you repeat 39-39, 3 by 3, 3 by 3, 2 Rubik's Cube, God and the heaven. The 7, look what they're showing now, eh? The wheel is now empty inside. How many lines do they have on it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The cycle, the last cycle, fell on the leap year to close up the day in the books. Do your taxes late. Another thing, I'm going to continue on to this, is that when we get to 10, I had location 1020, and it's the creation of the location and the place you're at makes 2, 3, and 5. And fuck the 1. Do you know why? Because everything's a 1. Everything's a 1. Either it's a dot or a line, and if you connect two lines out of the coordinates, you made a dot or a line or a mistake. But all at the end, whichever way you go, whatever you want to do, it's all by the decimal of the line and the dot. The minute you make that line, you have 1. You make another line, you have 1. You make another line, you have 3. Because you connected A, B, and C. 1, 2, 3. 1, 1. When you get to an even number, it means it's in the center. 1, 1, and then 3, which would be ABC or KC for Kansas City. Highway 70, Highway 35, Kansas City, Highway 10, Highway 35. Oh my God, the Mississippi ISS. Anyways, we're going to go in. This would be A, and this over here would be M. So now you have AM radio, and the total would be 14. Okay? Total would be 14, in which 14 equals 5, and 5 equals E, and M13, we're going to start with N14, A1, M13, E5. And this is what it says. It says your name. But you see the way you can barely see it here, the way it's marked? It can also say your number. All you have to do is just change the A for a U, because it's the creation part of the ask of what it wants. A and C will make the D. AC/DC makes the full rotation of the passage of E. 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Train tracks. Train tracks. 1 you can't do. 2, 3, 4. And then the corner. And it keeps going over and over. Your name and your number. Your name and your number. Your name and your number. And this is the only... Where do I get all this? 6, 9, 22, 5 equals 42. 19 and 9 is 28. 28 and 24, 52. SEVEN, even Steven, equals 65. 65 and 39 for the 10. This is where I get the numbers. 10, 20, 30. 10, 20, 30. TTT, TT, T. Transmission, transmission, transmission. It's all in the words. Pronunciation. And now look at the cards they came out with. Look at that center again. All spread apart. You don't see the bottom trains, right? But you know what this does? If you turn it this way, this, I'm going to show you what it does. If I can find it in here. 10-1 is 73, Christ. Okay? 10-2 is 97, which is the birth. 10-3 is 95. It means the man has a mind. Okay? 10-4, okay, which it means the man has the mind and body and he is ready. 10 is number 39, 4 is number 60, the total is 99. 999. 955, 977. You see, that's it. That's the shown part. That's the shown part. Oh my God, say 10-2. No. This is the shown part, my friends. Shown as a number count of 58. It represents the word originality of TWO. Okay, and like I said, the W is actually a 5 that looks like a 3, but you can't run over the same line. You must show how you went forward and back. Otherwise, the 3 becomes a CC, because it has to be able to draw its line. Even though you see the line, it has to draw its line in its own head in the computer. 10-2 is Shom FM. It has 58. 85 is the matrix. 5 by 8 is the game is 40. 5 and 8 is 13. Is A to M. We just finished that. 58 is also game number, position number 1 in roulette. 1, 10, 19, 28 total. 2 blacks totaling 38 and 2 reds totaling 20, equaling to 58 again, splitting up the red and black of 29 red, 29 black. The leap year and April 1st, the jump side. into the expansion, because 1, 2, 3 is done in October, November, December by 1, 0, and 1, 1, and 1, 2 is 3. Satin is what Satan is all about. Satan, which means a full command, the 10 Commandments. Satan, if there's really a God, then they crossed it over by saying Satan, the 10 Commandments, and then they would zap into you the rest of what it is. Okay? Satan talks about the end of 2014 is when they can say 10, because it comes out to the cross of Christ. So that's and I get here San Antonio, the cow. I don't know why, but I'm going to show you that picture that I was looking for before. Don't forget, if it's bubbled out, it can be bubbled in. You know what I'm saying? If it's bubbled out, it can be bubbled in. You see this here? Imagine this is a smokestack coming out from the bottom of the mountains over here where the fish are. And then where the fish are, it's all in containments. It's all free now. It's all life down here. The ocean, up to the top, inside the world, 3 fish they're holding. Down here is in the world life. And then this, all it does is it and look at this. If I bubbled it out the other way, okay, you wouldn't see the same thing. It's just like this bar over here. If I put a bar in the center, one over here, which I'm supposed to do, okay, I only put it on one side. This is the 4, this is the 5, and this is the 6. He's already barred in, all right, over here. A-M, just like I told you. A-M. To God with love. Here's man. Here's the I. These are all the stacks. This would be like the smokestacks coming from underneath the water, bridging them all the way up until they build a bridge on top. And then they're connected to everything. I don't know where I was. Just give me a second. So yeah, another thing is, I'm going to look at this first, is when you draw 5 and 2, we get this. We get 1, 8. Okay, 3 in between of creation. 4 and 3 meet, make 1, 7. Goes up here. 3 and 4 goes up here. These become a different number. You have 5 and 2, 3 and 4. You have a triangle that says 14. The 14 is the cross that turns everything upside down. This is just continuing a 5 that turns into a 2, that turns into a 5. The same thing over here. This is a 2, and then once you block it up here, you sort of, you see the 5 now down there. Otherwise you see the 3. The snake rotation of the S is actually a 3 in one motion. 1,000 is what anything is before anything begins, because those are the spirit angel, man of life, the one spirit of God, which is 1,000. So it would be 23,500. So I'd have to put on 23,500, 23,500, and everybody here is looking for 2,125. Wow, it's not 2,125, it's 212.5. $212,522. It's right here at number 22. I told you. This with a line through it, this with a line through it, comes together as number 23 together. Then there's 23 on the outside. This plays one game. These 2 on the outside, this 3 will jump over here and it'll say 5. This 2 will jump over here, it'll say 5. 2 and 3 will stay in the center. They will become 5, but they will become the one spirit, so they are the 9 birth. But in totality in their heart they are 5, so it becomes 555, which is May 5th of every year except for this year. This year, the 125th day fell on May 4th. It didn't lock me up. I got sick on the 555. Well, I was into it before that, but just going too deep into it got me sick into the hospital, and I didn't understand. So, yeah, wow, I separated by one day. I just spoke to my grandmother Oh, my grandmother's number. Oh, my God. God in heaven, I am the one Mary who has never had. I am a virgin of all. And I'm trying to understand, Bub, what are you talking about? She goes, well, back in the old days, she says, if you don't have any boys, you're still a virgin because you ain't got any balls to play with. Play with the men, the heads of man. We are not the same species. It's too bad. I love the women. I hope we get to stay with them in our next life. My grandmother's number says, I am sick of 44. That's what my grandmother's number says. I am sick of number 44. It says to start with, because of our area we live in, it says God of 1010, I am sick of 44. That is her exact number. I am sick of 44, and she's 98. We're half each other's age. I'm 49 and 17 days. Wow, this month is slow. Wow. 10 and 17 is 27. 2 and 7 is 9. The 7 card. Second heaven. For the ones who can think. Because if you can't think, it's scary as shit up there. She's 98. She like follows the queen. I'm the second born. Second born actually in boys. Second born to her second child, 222. 222, 222, Barack Obama. I'm 45, 44 years old. Plus 5 years, plus the 45th president. We're both 50. So what does that mean? It's a book. I have to take you off on a tale. What am I going to tell you about Jack next door? Hey, Jack next door, he's going to save the world. I'm going to talk about Jack. Okay? But the only way he's going to save the world is the only way to go is through the halo. The halo is inside of you. It's an energy, it's a compression that when you cry, you feel it. When you have emotions, you feel it. And when you don't feel it, you think you're not going anywhere at all, but you're always going into the halo. Don't you feel how it breaks apart, the halo, when it starts to rain? And then it's easier to think after the rain. And during the rain, it also seems like there's a weight off your back, unless you're complaining and worrying. Our halo, my friends, I don't know what the capacity we have. Okay, I wrote down a few numbers today, and I can't keep up to everything, and there's a reason for every number. But we are 1,000 times whatever it is. We are 1,125 to be more exact, connecting the 1,000 of God to the 555 of who we are, 125, 1,125. Now we'll give the 10% of our brain if we want, and then we can go up to whatever, but I'll stick at 11 whatever, forget about the percentages. So that would be a vibration mode of what? 1125, 1125, 1,125, double that up is 2250. Oh my God. 1125 times 2 is 2250. 2250 is 225 times 15, which is 2,250, and 1,125, showing you the breakdown. It went back by going up to 15 times this. It now showed you the first part of doubling it, and then it showed you the second part of the originality. And all I did is multiply it by 15. 15 is what the value of 0 is in this kind of game. 15 times 15 equals the 225 times 15, 225, which equals to 15 times 15 equals 225 times 15 equals 3375. 1 plus 5 equals 6. 1 times 5 equals 5 equals 11. 6 5 equals 11. 6 5 equals 11. 2 2 2. 15 by 15, 225. If you take the 9 lives of the cat's house, the dog pound, the pound key with the 9 spaces, the telephone, the amount of spaces you have to stay in a square, it's 25 to each one, because the X and the O have a 10 and 15 value. Because I told you the O has a 15 value here, but the X only has a 10 value. That's why I can multiply this. If I gave this X in the middle, which was the multiple point, as a 24 value, this whole account would come different, and it does come different. 225 by 15, 33, 11, 11, 11, 25, 25, 25, 75 cents and 33 cents, 108. 108 is 54 and 54, which is 52, 2 and 52, 2, which is the deck of cards without the jokers. It also balances down, as I showed you. 11, 11, 11 is 33. This part here added to 195. It doesn't matter if I add or subtract. 1 plus 5, 1 times 5. 65, 65, 65 in all the worlds. At one point, 5 and 1 is 666. If we add it all up, you can't do it that way. You have to go the total. Again, 1 and 1, 2. 1 and 1, 2. 1 and 1, 2. 2, 4, 6. Man 6, God 1. And we take the 1 away from the 6 on the opposite side. We take the 6, the opposite side away, and we go back up through the light, the one space in our mind, the only part that's actually living, 1, 1, 2, 5. 2, 2, 5. 1, 1, 2, 5, or 1, 2, 5. Let me mark this down. So the one space that is living inside, which would be 5, 1, 5. Now if we go 5, 1, 5, now I can show you, it shows up right here in 2, 3, 5. Because 2, 3, 5 make everything. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 and 2 is 4. 3 and 3 is 6. 2 and 2, 3 and 3. 55. 55 and 55. 515. We did the tens. I wanted to read a part from here. This is some kind of Bible stuff. Don't go away. This is what we're doing. For the sin we committed in thy by the levy of the mind. Now when you go anywhere, why would anybody want you to think about all your sins? Why would somebody want you to think of all your sins? It's saying that you're more than the mind. Now my confusion that comes in is that, is this just really one group and we're just here for the hell of it to pass through, and they'll go on to the next one because they have to do it at a certain age or the chick is no good? Not only that, our genes are over. Our sons born before 1998 were the last of the old gene. Anybody born after 98, after 2001 is with the new gene. Somebody might come on and say, what is the new gene? Well, it's probably something else in Levi's, of course. They must have come up with something different. Maybe a new cut material. I don't know how it works. I only tell you from the interior of creating a book and a surface for, oh, maybe it could be, and maybe it isn't, and maybe it is, but it isn't thought. It's a new gene. Started in 1991, just after the 88 when my grandfather died. 88 to 91 is a very, very funny position, because 88 to 91 is the final connections with the final strands before you get to 92. 92 is the birth, the 11, the first 92 cycle after 19, which is 10. 92 is 11, you get 21 right off the cycle, and that's where they came up with 102 blackjack. No, I don't see it here. No. It's not on this one. This one says 808. 808 because the 0 is not your 0. You're in the nest of somebody else. You're one in somebody else's nest. It was the new dawn of the day. It was the ray of the sun. It was the Tange of the fruits. It was a lily pad for the frog. It was the alien being of the opposite sex. It was a giant 6 feet. 6 feet and 2 feet. Can you believe that? My son's got 8 feet. 6 feet and 2 feet. How tall is your son? He's 6 feet and 2. Wow. 6 feet, 2 arms. Is that 2 arms for every foot? Wow, how are they going to follow his soul around? I was only 5 feet. 5 feet and 7. I had 5 feet and 7 arms. Holy Christ, how did I keep my balance? I had to do a cartwheel every time I left the house. My ex-wife, she's always telling us she's a little bit taller. Never younger, but just a little bit taller. And every time I look at her, I say, you're way too tall for me. I can't understand your piece of sorority. Which is meaning that you do not want to be taller. You do not want to be younger. It is all in the concept of how wise you are. You are anything you want to be. The morning services for Yom Kippur. I exalt. I exalt. Where is that? This is in the Kabbalah. I never saw the Kabbalah in my life. Okay, you see this? Ugh! Now, how in the world can I make anything in the Kabbalah? You know, who am I? I don't know. Here. Is it not the same thing or what? See the Y on the bottom, the resh that holds everything up, holds the X in the bottom so he can balance looking like a pig? It's not the same thing? The only problem is, there's one mistake for me in Kabbalah. There's one huge mistake. And the biggest mistake in the Kabbalah that I received is, in all faith, everybody lets you see the two sides of the cards. Not because we don't trust each other, because that's how it has to be, until it becomes private. When you open up a Torah, you unravel it. When you open up that book, I turned it open, like turning another page in life. Is it supposed to be that way, telling you each page is now finite and this is the exact order? Read it in order, as the Torah has added words, added pages. They unsewed it and resewed it and unsewed it and resewed it and unsewed it and made the paper get old and make it all look the same, and then they gave us Torah. Unravel it like the scrolls when they say hearsay and hearsay. So, is the scroll the really way to go? Should we be reading unraveled Torahs like the tree, or Kabbalahs like a book? It might seem pretty easy for all of you, but for me, it's a little bit of a confusion. I'm trying to look back at something right now. Just give me a second. Here's another thing I made a setup. This is the roulette board. Okay? 111 means area 1 digit. 222 means area 2 digit. 333, 20 level, 3 digit. 444, we stop here, 2 fours only. But now I made another one. A 10th, an 11th level, 12 level, and I made all the levels, and these would all become Rubik's Cubes. 1, 2, 3, excuse me, 1, 4, 7, 2, 5, 8, 3, 6, 9. Then we have to reverse it and do it this way. But when you go the other way around, you only can do it twice to connect it, and that's what gives you the wrap around the earth. And if you ever look at Star Wars, Return of the Sith, they had the exact mark. If you ever look at Mike's Restaurants, it has the exact mark. If you want to talk about insignias, I can tell you the mark, because it's a line, dot, line, dot, line, angle, line, dot, beep, beep, buzz, dot, angle, line, dot, buzz, beep, 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 dot, beep, beep, line. That's all it is, my friends. But in our heads, it comes into a little circle, and it goes zip, and it gathers it all up, and it sends it into one pathway of thought. So, I'm not going to read from the échelle. My middle name is Michel, which means half a ladder. But it also says échelle, which means the ladder. It also means shell, which means of. It also says to divide. Shell or Mitchell can mean divide, which means David, and that's the insignia of my son's name. But Ronald David, I don't have to change my last letter. And it says La Vidio à la Ronald. The pizza is being served by me. The Aldo, the loaded one, the adult, the one who comes to the crossroads, to the loud road, to the cross power, who dibbles and dabbles, and so he went blind, and so he went bald, and then he woke up in the hospital of all, where no one cared or wished anything upon me, and everybody that came treated me like I was a little dog. I remember exactly, just because I was different at that time, and I saw different. And I still see difference. And I still see that when I go outside and the speed limit says 50, I'm still going to drive about 40, 45. I don't want to have to look at my speedometer. When I'm down at 40, I know I'm safe. I can tell the difference. We have the vibrations on our feet and in our bodies when we drive, but we want to get the hype as we go, but we can't collect all the information while we're driving that fast. 85 The Matrix, 58 reversed Shom FM, 977 49 63 63 126 266, the final mark on the boat. Shom, in honor of 2013, I don't know if it went through yet, but in honor of 2013, I hope not. I just hope not. I hope not. I don't know, but I know you're the vibe, man, of rock and roll. And if that vibe changes, it's not good. It's just not good. And all it is my ear to the radio hearing 97.7. Any change at all or anything that stays the same is all not good. It must move the matrix way. Every 4 years, that's why they change their cars. You have the leap year. Some do it in Canada, it's 4.5 years, 5 years, according to the presidents and according to the prime ministers. So, yeah, so we have a lot of numbers. I mean, if you came to me and say, give me a number 8, so I'm going to look around and I'm going to look around, and the only number 8s I'm going to find are in position number 1. But if I say, give me number 38, I'm going to say number 20 and number 18. Number 20 and 18, 2-0 is 2, 18 is 9. It's number 20, 18 and 20 is 38. It's the pig. We see that 2 plus 0 is 2. 8 and 1 is 9. Now it's the birth. Number 38 is the birth. 38 is 19 and 19, 10 and 9, 10 of God, the J God, and 9 of who you are. The light, in all actuality, really and truthfully, do you want to hear what's going on? We're not here. All we are is processing the transfer of thought inside these bodies we're carrying. That's it. The only death you'll have is the thought of thinking that you're going to die. But you're not here. You're a light. You're a light with a little element that's in the body, and once the body's alive, the element you can see. You can see. God gave you the chance through His only way for all of us, for one eye to have 2 eyes, one eye to have good judgment. 21st, Sunday she'll be quiet. Monday's preparation usually. Tuesday would be the rumble. 24th. 24 and 10 is 34. 3 and 4 is 1. Rumble number 1. Raphael, 7286. This is the book, The Myth of Zazareth. The book with no name, but a history that goes back as long as the games people played. Raphael, 7286. Like you.